Hello and welcome once again to the Bike Show. Please forgive the scruffy office surroundings. We've just driven back from Austria and have had absolutely no time to unpack before this week's deadline. This episode though will feature the arrival of two more truly special MV Agusta models in South Africa for the very first time, and we'll be having a quick chat with one of the big cheeses at KTM in Austria who just happens to be a South African. But since we haven't covered any news for several weeks, I thought we'd begin this week's show with a look at what's happening on the international motorcycling scene. Inevitably, that means we're going to be talking about developments in the world of electric two-wheelers. But before we get to that, let's rather highlight some, frankly, astonishing happenings for bikes that are powered by small explosions and that make a wide variety of intoxicating noises. First, we have Triumph, the Brit manufacturer that has been making a noise recently about its electric bike developments, but now wants to switch our attention back to the even bigger news that it announced last year. The fact that at some point in the near future it will be releasing a full range of Enduro and MX models. This is obviously a huge move for a company that has established itself as a premium manufacturer of bikes for the road, and to help it with the project it has employed off-road expertise that is basically as good as it gets. Closest to the project is five-time Enduro world champion Ivan Cervantes, but they have also secured the services of a GOAT, the MX and Supercross greatest of all time being American Ricky Carmichael. It is Cervantes, though, who has been most busy recently because he rode in the Baja Arágon rally on a Tiger 900 Rally Pro. These rally events, as well as catering for cars, trucks and quads, and of course the traditional 450 enduro bikes that we see every year in the Dakar, have now expanded to feature a trail class for bikes up to 950 cc's, I think it is, and above that it becomes the maxi trail class. That, by the way, was won by a Harley Davidson Pan America, while the trail class, the big one, was taken by Cervantes and his Triumph. Impressive stuff when you consider that puts him up against more rally-focused models like Yamaha's T7, the Tenere 700, and things like the 690 KTMs. What really stands out though about the result is that he finished in 12th place overall, right in the mix with some top competitors on the Pucker 450 Rally Raid machinery. Yeah, on an adventure bike that you can go down to your Triumph dealership and buy tomorrow. Okay, following in the fumes of the fossil fuel news, we'd better cover some electric stuff for those bikers ready to embrace the future, and so we'll begin with a race circuit being built here in France for electric vehicles. Yep, a track dedicated to quiet, green, environmentally responsible racing. Motorsport Vision, which is a Brit company by the way, is behind the venture. They're currently responsible for brands Hatch, I think it is, Cadwell Park and Donington Park, and this new sustainable eco circuit, as it will be known, is going to be built over the next 4 to 5 years. It seems they're not exactly in a rush. Why France for the British controlled venture? No clear answer for that, other than that the ex-military land was probably relatively affordable, and perhaps the fact that stringent new noise pollution rules are due to be introduced into this country that may well restrict a lot of the current petrol-powered racing activities. So electric racing may start seriously here earlier than anywhere else. The track will be 3.5 k's long and be surrounded by a solar farm that will supply 350 megawatts of power. So when you plug your race bike in the pits to recharge, you can rest easy in the knowledge that you really are racing in the most sustainable manner possible. Staying with electric, we move on to a new scooter that comes out of Taiwan, and it's being marketed in a strange kind of way, frankly. I'm tempted to call it sexist. I'm also tempted to call it a little bit demeaning, though I've no doubt it's all done with the best of intentions. It's called the Delight and is made by Gogoro, very much with women in mind. I've always been of the opinion, given the vast range of overlapping physical dimensions and the wants and needs of both male and female riders, that bikes are offering the same features and benefits whichever of the sexes you happen to be. That's why throughout the 30 years or so I've been a journalist, I've always resisted the idea of, say, a female test rider reporting on a bike for women, or indeed vice versa. Why? Well, as far as I'm concerned, the bike is offering the same thing regardless of whether you're a man or a woman. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against women reviewing bikes. They must just review them for a general audience, not just for women. If you can ride well enough and you can write, then the world of motorcycle journalism is available to you regardless of your gender. So that's why I find Gogoro's Delight a bit of a strange one. By the same token, if a manufacturer said it was designing a model specifically for men, I'd be just as dubious. Anyway, what are the special features of this scooter that will, allegedly, make it so appealing to women? The seat height is quite low, helpful if you're a shorter woman or man. The same can be said for the 25% lighter operation of the centre stand. Nice. So, according to Gogoro, women are weaker and shorter than men, which on average may statistically be true, but I'm not sure women were exactly struggling with the current range of scooters. I may be wrong there though, as I am about so many things these days. What else? There's cushions for the knees, because it would be easy to say something irredeemably offensive here in the name of childish humour, so I'll just say because... what? Because men apparently don't have knees? In the storage bin under the seat there is a refillable fragrance that, according to Gogoro, will adjust your mood, awaken your heart, and bring the focus back to yourself. Yeah. Let's for the moment bring the focus back to the scooter that apparently has a smidgen under 9 horsepower, will do about 50 k's an hour and has a 150 kilometre range. The best bit though, if enough could be sold and the infrastructure put in place, is that the battery can be removed and swapped at a GO station for a fully recharged replacement, immediately removing the most irritating part of electric vehicle ownership, which is the recharging times. I have no information to hand about how many of these GO stations currently exist, either in Taiwan or your local area, but I'd hazard a guess that it's probably less than 1. Enough of the fragrant delight. Time for you to watch a couple of ads before we return with some Italian exotica.